just let us know. Pre-order t-shirts. If you want to order a t-shirt, there is a new design. Jeff's got the new design, haven't you, Jeff? Show everyone the new design. Yeah, all eyes on Jeff.
Oh, we need that.
And then at the back, show me at the back. Yeah! So we've altered them a little bit for obvious reasons. Has anybody signed in just so we can keep a track of numbers? Just initials will do. Just because apparently it's just me and some cardboard this campaign. So obviously we want to make sure it's not just me and some cardboard. I think that's just rude about all of you. But it could be ruder, because it could have been the lowest common denominator of society. Yes. Hands up if you're Maria Provost.
No.
No.
Not here.
Maria Provost not here.
Still looking.
We're still looking for Maria. Believe me.
We didn't find her.
We have found Maria. Believe us. So that'll be an interesting one. You'll be cute. In fact, we could actually sell tickets for the reveal to go towards the Grammy campaign. Think you'd all pay? Because the amount of messages I've had saying, who is Maria? We'll just leave it at that for tonight, I think. But any ideas? It's always welcome. What's the matter with Melanie? She's clapping with excitement.
Because Aunt Lucy's got glasses on.
Oh, I thought it was something to do with Pop off.
No,
Pop-off.
sorry, it
Oh,
was
I've got an
about
R in it.
Paddington, I'm sorry.
How do you solve the problem like Maria?
Do you solve the problem like Maria? I don't know.
You catch a cloud and pull it down.
Oh yeah, don't forget that we have got one good Maria in here. And another good Marie who's helping out. Where is she? She's on the card store. She's there, lot, waiting for Marie.
To be fair then, we're really all common.
Yeah. Oh, but look, we've got some food. Look at this, eh? Benny. Ilkeston Gnome is watching. Yes. Andrew Jones is watching. Catherine is watching. Elaine Paladine. Oh, Lorna's watching. Yeah. See? Who'd have thought it had?
Good, yeah, Miss Williams watching.
Williams is not currently online. Kevin, but I'm sure he'll be watching.
They ought to be.
He ought to be, yes, Kevin, he ought to be.
You'll find it's probably under a pop-off name.
Oh, well, I did not say that. Nobody said that.
I said under A.
Under A?
Like
One of the many, fake profiles. Again, ask yourself why. Right, let's make a start then. Is it 7 o'clock?
Yes.
We're on a tight schedule. So, I'll get my glasses on. Right, so welcome. If you don't know, I'm Melissa, and this is
Stefan.
otherwise known as the nutcase and the sensible one. Don't forget that, the nutcase and the sensible one. If only they knew. So, we will be having the draw for the free badge. That is in a raffle. And we've also already talked about who is Provost. We have invited the trustees of the building. We haven't had any response this time. We've invited Univision. We haven't had any response this time. We have invited Lindsay Farnsworth MP. Stefan, do you want to read that now or a bit later?
I'll do that later.
We'll do that later, but as you can see, no security guards, so no Lindsay Farnsworth. Or police in fact, because obviously we have to have a police guard every time who comes to Eden. Well, look here. We have got, do you want to do the councillors in the room now? Or is that later?
No.
Do that.
Right.
That's me done.
Okay. Is that one for me?
I think so.
Stand.
I'll just sit here with you. It's easier. Okay, I'll borrow that in a minute. Just before we start, I think we need to say thanks to the people that have helped make this evening happen. So, first and foremost, Andy and Izzy at the bar from Shipley Working School. Thank you. Obviously to all of you for taking the time and effort to turn out this evening. But I want to say a bit about the Working Men's Club here. It's a fantastic club. We've had lots of support from this venue when we've done these events. And you'll see on your tables, you've got the opportunity to join up as a member. You've got loads of events on here. So this Friday, 3rd of October, you've got a rock and roll night with Danny Reno. And if you're into Northern Soul, that's on every 3rd Friday of the month at 7:30. So there's a poster by the door and that tells you about all the events. If you want to join, and this is, I think Andy, this is the cheapest beer in town, isn't it, by a country mile. It's £6 a year and then £4 a year after. So it's really good value. So do support this community venue, because if we don't support community venues like these, they won't exist in the future. But if you're watching online, if you're looking at coming to Northern Soul or one of the events, we're Millbank, Marlborough, DE757BQ. I want to thank John, aka Randy Man, who records our meetings and posts them on his YouTube channel. So thank you, John. And we should say that John and his wife Janet have recently celebrated their silver wedding anniversary.
No. 60.
60.
Ruby.
Diamond.
Diamond.
Well, congratulations and thanks again, John, for recording. Want to obviously thank all our volunteers who are around the room, so the people you've seen signing you in this evening, our friends managing the various sorts of stalls around, so this all contributes to the crowdfunding campaign, and as I said, obviously you. We also want to thank our international supporters. Believe it or not, we've got a supporter in Japan, a supporter in New Zealand and a supporter in Canada. And we did say at the last meeting that the person who is furthest away will get a free badge. Now, all we know from the data we've got is somebody in Japan, somebody in New Zealand, somewhere in Canada. And they're quite big countries. We know where the person in New Zealand lives. They live in Wellington. But Japan and Canada we don't know. So if those people are watching, they want to private message their details, we'll send their free badges across to Japan, Canada, and hello from everybody here in a beautifully sunny Heanor this evening.
Not sunny no more.
I'm going to hand over to Melissa now for the petition update.
Right, so we started off big with the petition and then we have, if we're honest, got a little bit waylaid. However, the petition is very important, mainly because Parliament have altered the amount of signatures you need on a petition to lobby Parliament with said petition. So it used to be 25,000. I think it's gone up now. I think it might even be 100, but I need to double check that.
Yeah, it's 100,000.
100,000. So we've got a lot of work to do, people. We will, because obviously the radius of this grammar school is massive, as it was when it was a college and when it was a grammar. So we'll be going out to all the other towns. But like I say, please print out or take a petition sheet. I think have we got some here?
We've got petition sheets.
Got a petition sheet. Yeah. So Darius has got nothing. And posters to put in your window. I'm popping here. But yes. So even so, we have not done that. But again, we have to admit it's gone a little bit. But you know why? And we're just going to say it now.
Yeah.
Is because we need more help. This campaign is massive, and it's massive because of what we've undug. We've clawed it out, and there's a lot of stuff coming out, and like we keep saying, this is not just happening in Heanor, this is not just happening in our borough, it's not just happening in Derbyshire County Council or Derby City. Look at the marketplace in Derby, the new market hall, they're having the same problems that we are. However, it's not. This is a national scandal. Watch everything like Hawke. Cotmanay has just got 20 million. I hope that they actually get that 20 million. But we are watching everything like Hawke. But it's big and we need help. And we will lobby Parliament. And what we'll lobby Parliament for, which has always been our aim since day one, 4 years ago, is more regulations for town councils. Because unfortunately, there ain't no regulation. So you've got party politics, and you have got big sums of money, and they are not properly regulated. So every time we try and bring something up, it's not in anybody's jurisdiction. So, getting back to the petition. We have got the equivalent to 11.4% of this town, which is not bad going.
Of voting population.
Of voting population. It's only voting population that can sign the petition anyway, because obviously you've got to be above a certain age. So that's quite significant, we think, and this is obviously a few months in, but we're in it for the long haul, as you know. So our former mayor, Paul Jones, was elected to the town council on just 449 votes in 2023. He wants to be in charge of the council again, but he isn't here. Hands up if you're Paul Jones. Yeah. So
just by way of context, that microphone's not working, so I'll have to use yours, Melissa, sorry. Yeah, so that 11.4% is equivalent to 1,553 names we've got on the petition. So to give it into context, you've got, there's not a single politician in either the town council or borough council that got elected on anywhere near those figures. So it's quite interesting. We're going to give the opportunity for the borough and town councils that are here this evening to stand up and introduce themselves, and it's great to see some of our borough and town councillors here because they are our community representatives.
So, Chris Ellis-Williams, Kev, this is one for you. He got in with 451 votes, and again, they want to be in charge of the council again, but they are not here. The biggest issue for 40 years in this town, and, well, how many town councillors have we got here? Hands up. Malk, Maria, Tony, Stephen. Four?
4 out of 21.
Again, the biggest thing that's happened to us in 40 years. I'll leave you to work out if that's a good show or not.
Can I just check something there?
Yes, Kevin,
So
you
Chris
go
Ellis
ahead.
Williams got in with 451 votes.
For town
For
council.
town.
Is that from his parishioners, Godden and Wayneville? So
Heanor.
my real question is, how does somebody with 451 votes come to represent the whole of Amber Valley Borough Council?
Well, that is town.
Right. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, that's town. So that is obviously Heanor and Moscow. Yeah, so borough is a different amount, but we can find that. It won't be a lot.
Which ward votes for him then on the town council?
So it's all changed, hasn't it, the last time? So it's Heanor East and Heanor West.
It will be Losco.
He's Moscow. Yeah, it's Moscow.
I thought he was Godden and Wayneville.
You can live
No, borough.
3 miles. As long as you live within 3 miles, you can stand in.
Okay, so
Okay, fair enough.
yeah, they're the rules. So you can stand, but the point is we've got 4 town councillors here. Is it would the town councillors just be willing to just stand up and say hello, I am, because it's a great opportunity for them to introduce themselves to you. So if you work sort of clockwise around the room.
Stand up. Hi, I'm Marie Cresswell, and you've probably seen me loads of times before. I'm in the East Council.
Thank you, Marie.
Matthew Red, Heanor West Council.
Great, thank you.
Tony Crowley, I'm Gloucester, Heanor Town Council, Gloucester. Sorry, I'm Gloucester Ward.
Council Bow for Heanor West and Moscow, and Borough for Heanor West and Moscow, Stephen Bow.
Thank you, Stephen. Right,
Yeah, just the borough.
your borough. Okay.
I resign from here.
So we've got 4 borough councillors as well. So Trevor Holmes. So Trevor, I've just sort of introduced you back and forth there. So Trevor's at the back. He's one of our 4 borough councillors. We've got Janet Ward, who
Sits on Heanor.
sits on here. Is it here? We've got Nick Bezick, Sorry, we've got 2 borough councillors because Stephen's also a borough councillor.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 out of our borough councillors here. We've also got Matt Jones, who was voted in, and he's not here either. So it's quite interesting that we've got something that's got such a huge amount of community interest, but our local representatives aren't wholly represented here. But again, it's great to see the councillors who are here this evening. So it begs the question, when over 1,500 names have been signed to keep the grammar community controlled, why have we only got 4 out of 21 town councillors here and only 2 out of 5 borough councillors here? So I'm going to hand over to Melissa now to give you an update on the crowdfund.
Right, so the crowdfund launched 5 weeks ago. Obviously, we've not really kicked in the fundraising yet. You can see in the corner that is fundraising. Obviously, your badges are £3.50. If you give a bit more, we get a bit more. The t-shirts, again, if you pay 14 quid, we get a couple of quid off that. So it all helps. But we are doing the Christmas disco. We're having an old school grammar disco. And there, yes, Leslie, I know, I can't bear it. I know, I'm so excited. So anyway, what day is that? The 3rd?
5th of December.
The 5th of December. And it will be £5 a ticket. Oh no, it isn't. It's the 12th. Anyway, it's the 12th.
Elvis on that night.
Oh,
Elvis on the
Young
5th.
Elvis, don't miss young Elvis. Apparently he's amazing.
So which date is Elvis? The 5th?
Elvis is the 5th, don't forget Elvis.
So our
Yeah, but that's a
disco is when?
Saturday. We need it on a
The
Friday.
12th.
The 12th. We need it on the Friday.
12th
We
of
need it on a
December.
Friday night.
It's Friday the 12th. It's the 12th Friday.
Yeah.
Right. Okay then. So £5 a ticket, and obviously you're going to be a DJ, and we'll have a few surprises sorted out, and all profits go towards the campaign, which is lovely. And we'll be seeing more fundraising as time goes on. But again, we need more volunteers because we can't do it all ourselves, can we? But in a minute, we are up to £1,246. And have we got anything to pay in? We'll have some to pay in from tonight. Yeah. So bear in mind, it's not just what we pay the money into that fundraising when we make money. So it's not just about people donating on the fundraising. And this QR code's all about if anybody just wants to fundraise or give us some money. Have I said everything on that page? No, brilliant.
So the GoFundMe page, it's a way of, if you want to donate more than, if you want to offer more to the campaign, rather than just buy the t-shirts, etc., you can go on there. But there's also some important information on the GoFundMe page. So you'll see QR codes on your table. So if you go onto that web page, it sets out what the campaign fund is for. So principally, it's to build up effectively a war chest to challenge this legally. Because we think, and if you've watched the last campaign meeting, and a lot of you are already here, we don't think the money's been spent in the right way. We believe that the money was awarded by the government to turn the grammar school into a shared use facility that would be shared between the community, small businesses and leisure uses. And at the moment, the plans are to hand it largely to Derbyshire County Council. And we've got a statement from the MP later explaining the position on that. The intention is that all the funds will be overlooked by 3 trustees that are not either of us. So we've got 3 trustees that will look after what's called a community interest company. And on the website you will find out there's 5 things we're looking to achieve. So those 5 things are based upon all the discussions Melissa's had in her pet shop, it's all the discussions we've had at campaign meetings, and it's all the chatter we've had on social media. So the 5 things are, number 1, community, and get a community interest company that manages and rents the building. And the government talked about this last week and said it should be local communities managing buildings in their local communities. So we're doing exactly what the government's asking us to do. Secondly, it's got to be viable. There's got to be no tax liability placed on the taxpayer, so it's got to be able to wash its face. Thirdly, free. We think a percentage of the parking spaces in the new car park, you might have noticed there's a new car park with a ticket machine. We think there's got to be a percentage of those that every day are free 1 hour shoppers car parking spaces. And the income that is generated from those car parking machines needs to go back into the grammar, not into Amber Valley's general pot. The lease, we think there's got to be a new approach to the lease proposals. So the current proposals are to lease the building to Derbyshire County Council. We believe that's wrong. We believe that because 151 businesses expressed interest in renting space in the building, they should be given the opportunity to rent some of those spaces, which is a final and fifth point, which is fair. There are spaces in there that are available that a selection of the 151 businesses should be able to give them the opportunity not only to view, but to rent. We think the way that should work is that the spaces should be advertised for a minimum of 4 weeks. Viewings should be open to those businesses. Now, some of those 151 businesses might have already found other places to go, but a lot of those businesses, like one of them's a hairdresser, wants to move into that room on the first floor, you know, with all the windows and a nice view of the church. That could be a brilliant hair salon. We expect applications for spaces to be assessed against both financial and social criteria. So we deliver the concept of a shared community, leisure and business enterprise space. Now, Derbyshire County Council are currently lined up to take on the building, but there's 151 people that were in the queue before them. So we think it's only fair that those 151 businesses are given the opportunity. They're asked again, are you still interested in space? If so, what space? Then Amber Valley Borough Council say these are the rental charges, and Derbyshire County Council can join that queue. They could be number 152. But we think it's only fair, transparent and consistent with public procurement rules that process is followed.
You can see why he's got this bit, can't you?
I'm going to Melissa now for, well, you've covered your old school disco bit.
Yeah. That's the fun bit. I do the fun bit.
So, in terms of what we hope to achieve, we understand that the grammar must pay its way. But as I've said, we know over 150 businesses have expressed interest in it. And those businesses are small businesses, a lot of them, and they need to be given a fair chance to rent space. A lot of those are businesses that could create the first truly accessible facilities in the town centre. So Dawn is one of the, where's Dawn gone? Dawn, one of the business owners, spoke quite passionately, and maybe at the end of the meeting, got time, Dawn can maybe take to the stage and tell us what you want to do with the space that you want to do. But Heanor is very inaccessible to people who have got sort of physical limitations, maybe in a wheelchair, etc., visual impairments. And there's a massive opportunity with the college to do something brilliant. I've covered the parking spaces. But the car parking spaces is really important because it'll be vital in terms of pulling more people into the town centre, getting people to visit a little more often and spending a little bit more. It's one of the top things people have always said is that there's no free parking in the town centre. Yes, there's free parking in Wilmot Street, but there's not free parking right bang on the doorstep of the marketplace. Melissa, I'm handing back to you at this point.
Just while we're on this, so they're the things that we think we need to ask for. Is it anything from you lot? Any other thing? Oh, yeah, well, one more. Come on. Come on. There you go. Dale.
I've got 3 questions that I think I may have just answered inadvertently. Beat me to the front. So I'll start off just by saying that as a local resident of the community, this grassroots movement is championing and fighting for, I want to begin by commending all the work and commitment that has gone into the campaign so far.
It's been totes and mosh, hasn't it? Not enough, clearly. Not had a drink bought me yet.
I understand you mentioned fundraising earlier, so I understand that the fundraising target for appointing a barrister was set at £6,000.
Yeah.
For this reason, I wish to raise this because some supporters may be hesitant to donate as they feel there is not yet a clear and actionable plan to get behind. With that in mind, I would like to ask the following questions. These aren't quick, this is in one. Is there a deadline by which the £6,000 target needs to be reached? Would you like me to ask and you answer, or would you like me to ask more and then answer again?
So just for the benefit of people watching at home, the question was around the crowdfund campaign and raising the £6,000. So there's a lot of information on the crowdfund website that sets out what we're intending to use that war chest for. In terms of how we got to the £6,000 figure, basically went onto the internet and looked at the average hourly cost of a barrister and looked at how much it would cost for a week's worth of advice. Now, I'm seeing a few shaking heads. We're open to suggestions and ideas, but we needed to start somewhere. So
sorry, my question was, is there a deadline to reach?
Oh, is there a deadline? No, but I mean, we're quite surprised that we've got to 21% in 5 weeks. So we didn't expect to be at 21%. So is there a deadline? No. It's really just as well. It comes down to whether the community want to pursue this or not.
The second part of that is once the funds are raised, by when the barrister needs to be appointed. So again, probably in the same for that. And then and maybe you could advise the community: is there a deadline of which any other member of the community or Lisa may be looking to move into the grammar school? Do we know that?
Sorry, I didn't catch that last bit.
Is there a date that, say, Derbyshire County Council or any Lisa that may go into it or managing agent might be taking over the grammar school yet?
We don't know. So the question from the back for the people at home was, is there a date by which any people leasing the building might move in? We don't know the answer to that question. All we understand is the executive decision has been made and approved by the scrutiny committee that the building will be leased to Derbyshire County Council.
We've had rumours. You want a rumour?
No.
As an old manager,
Do you want to rumour? I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't say it unless it was a proper rumour. So this is what we've been hearing, that they ain't moving in Derbyshire County Council till January, and that's because they think that we're all going to go away. But we're not, because we've got a school disco in December, so we're still look forward to Christmas. I'm going to come to you in just a minute, because she can really help us.
just on that then.
Yeah, go on. So,
I don't deal with rumours. I deal with, as an old manager used to tell me, the F in FOG, which is facts, opinions and guesses, and I only deal with facts.
Yes, I agree with you. However, when people who work in these buildings that are coming to the grammar have been told things.
So does that give us a deadline then by in the end of the
Maybe, but I haven't finished the room yet. You can finish. Anyway, so the Mercy House, as we know, their lease runs out. So they are yesterday. So they are having to move out sometime in October, but the lease is actually yesterday. They're moving to Shore Start at Cottony in the meantime. So again, it's not been confirmed, and I like to work on facts as well. I wouldn't even bring this up or waste my breath if I didn't think it was a solid contact. And I've had a lot of whistleblowers phoning me in that shop left, right and centre. So again, it's not from one source, it's from multiple sources. So I think that is, again, I have no proof, but you ain't going to get any, are you? Because like I said to the communications officer of Amber Valley today, we need more information because we've not had nothing. And we get told one day that we have a whole scrutiny meeting about the fact that Derbyshire's moving in, and then 2 days later we get told that they've not signed a lease. So we're as confused as everybody. So maybe if we'd been given some proper information, we probably wouldn't have had so many rumours. But that's just my thought on it. Back to Stefan.
Have you got a further question?
Yeah, I'm still on question.
All right. Well, can we just hold the questions to the end?
Well, yeah, sorry, I thought you put it out for questions.
Well,
Okay.
questions are at the end. What I put it out to was if anybody got any more ideas of what we need to ask for.
Oh, right, okay.
So we are going to have a question and answer session at the end. I should have pointed out at the start of the meeting, there's post-its and pens. If you don't feel comfortable asking a question, if you just want to scribble down your comments on a post-it, we'll just pass it to one of us and we'll ask it on your behalf. So can I come back to you at the end for more questions? But in answer to your question, or your point about when's it got to be spent by, essentially what we're trying to do is just challenge this decision. So at the end of the day, we don't know what the trajectory of the crowdfunding is going to be. It might plateau out at 21% and we might only make 25%. I mean, it's basically gone like that, and now it's sort of flattened a bit.
Would you mind if I could finish that then?
Yeah.
You can do, yes.
The last part of that question was good. One thing is not quite a target. It might not be £6,000. Next one would be, if the fundraising target is not achieved, what will happen to the donations that have already been collected?
We set that out on the crowdfunding page.
That's on the page.
It's all on the crowdfunding page.
There's quite a lot of information on
There's a
it.
huge amount of information that we put onto the crowdfunding page because we don't have the money to set up a website. So that's why we say to people, go onto the crowdfunding page, not necessarily to donate, but because it's given us a free platform where we can communicate all this information.
I've been struggling to get this. Would you mind to tell me what happened?
Yeah, if you just Google GoFundMe Heanor Grammar, you'll find it, and it's also on that big poster.
And I think
Obviously we're not working on negatives because believe me, we're going to win this. But obviously if worse comes to worse, Dale, then that money will go towards us lobbying Parliament as a town because of what's happened to us and our treatment to Parliament to actually get some positiveness about Heanor, that we've actually tried to change some laws. And we've always, I doubt that anybody, we wouldn't be in this state if we'd have had a bit more regulation around it. So while we're talking about that, I just want to, this lady had her hand up, and I know she can help us with it. What did you pass there? Do you want mine? I can read out.
well, no, use it because people need to hear.
It's interesting that we've got some borough councillors here. Could you just show me where you are? Could you tell the masses which committees that you sit on, please?
Licensing and waste and recycling.
Okay.
I just sit on the scrutiny.
You sit on the scrutiny.
Yeah.
Nobody sits on the planning committee.
No.
We used to.
Used to. I'm not gonna-
They get quite often each year, councils will move around to give them the experience on different committees. Last year I was on planning, this year I'm on scrutiny.
Would it be fair to say that none of the decisions that are made by Borough Council are made by the officers at the council, the employees? They all come from committee and then they are implemented by the officers. Is that correct?
If there's a planning one, you'll get the officers' recommendations, and we used to listen to that when I was on it. We used to listen to it. You have what's called pre-meetings, and you discuss what's going on the planning side. And if it's not what's it called, the people that come on board, tell us, like the police and education, they've all got an input. And there is a name for it, but I do forget what that name is. Well, they come in and they say they're with the police and all that. And if they don't object, it's virtually impossible for a councillor to object, because the official sort of advice that's been given from the council is taken on board, and if there's no objection to that planning, what do we object on? It might be somebody saying, that's all right, but between me, it's, you know, my house might collapse if they build one next door. You know, that don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter, and even for green belt to some degree, you've got an argument on.
So the direction I'm going in with the questioning is that the original decision to renovate the grammar school would have been a major planning project that presumably went to planning committee, and how to fund that probably went through a committee as well. So would it be the councillors with advice from the staff at the borough council?
Went to full council. The decision went to full council, so the planning application went to planning committee.
And also, I think there's got a sheet that's actually the original application, wasn't it, that was put in?
Yeah, I've got the original application.
So you've got a copy of so the decision was taken at
Full
full
council.
council level.
To accept the grant.
Yeah.
Step back.
Yeah.
The decision is taken for the actual renovation, and then how they're going to fund it. We will make an application to central government for a grant. Yeah?
Yes.
Have you seen a copy of that application? Yes or no?
Yes.
Have you got
Years
a
ago,
copy?
but it was.
You've got a full copy
This.
of that.
So what I've got had eyes on, because Trevor will tell you, we're missing 5 key documents, and we still can't get them. Can we,
Freedom
Trevor?
of Information Act.
We've tried, we've done that. I mean, we do them every day. I mean, but yeah, we've got to go above it. But obviously, we have to wait 20 days, which is a month, every time we do it. But what I have got is I've got the pre-application. So they have to get another 100 grand's worth of money to put the application together for the future High Street Fund. So I've got that. So basically that was the first document, official document, that went to future High Street Fund with what they wanted that money for. So that's what I've got. In fact, the councils have got it because I put it on a Google Doc and sent it back to them.
So going from that point then, so the reasons that the grant was sought
Yeah.
were set out in the huge document, and presumably something then came back from whoever is granting the money, central government or wherever, to say, based upon your application and this box that we are ticking, we are going to award however much it was.
Yeah.
And do you have that document?
No. We've tried.
Because central government's not just going to say, there you are, there's a bank full of money. Then
Well, no.
they're going
And this is our
to
point.
respond in writing first of all.
But they think that they have, I mean, we've obviously questioned them on this scrutiny. A big part of scrutiny was questioning them on it, because we were all saying, we think you're in danger of having this grant taken back. And they were adamant that they'd not done anything wrong whatsoever. Simon Gladwin, Chief Executive, Lee Gardiner, Monitoring Officer, Chris Ellis-Williams didn't really have to say much because his minions did. But basically, he's
Trevor, have you had any success finding those missing people?
Sorry, I beg your pardon, I can't hear you.
Have you had any success in finding that paperwork?
I've only had the one come back on the rent that we thought Derbyshire County Council might be paying, and it said on there that Derbyshire County Council have not yet signed any lease. So therefore, they can't tell me what the lease would have been, rent.
So we go
Because
round
it's
and-
financially embarrassing or financially prudent not to say what it was.
You've got to have some evidence.
But at some point,
It's no good saying, we've heard, we think, we know.
Well, we have got quite a lot of evidence.
You've got to have it in writing, and the first point of all, I am pretty sure is going to be, what was that application based upon?
Yeah.
And if it's for the community of Heanor,
Yeah, which it is, was.
well, you know, this is what we hear, but I've not seen it.
Yeah.
But if that's what it was based upon,
Yeah,
and that was the reason that the money was given in the first place,
yeah,
and now they have shifted the goalpost and they're changing it to be another local authority going in there,
Yeah.
or a county authority,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. But it's not for the local businesses
Yeah.
because Derbyshire County Council is not in here presently. It's up at the Kremlin, over at Alfreton, wherever else it might be.
yeah.
So that's the core that you've got to get those before you even entertain legals.
Yeah.
I can put you in touch with somebody who will be able to put you in touch with a barrister. I told you, well, we're involved in something. It was at least 8 grand.
In answer to your question, I think one of the challenges we've got is we're sending so many Freedom of Information Act requests. What we could do is if there's a volunteer here that would be willing to submit a Freedom of Information Act request on behalf of this group, asking for the grant applications and any grant documentation back from MHCLG, that would be really appreciated.
Well, if you can't get it from Amber Valley, go to those who
MHCLG.
sent it out from the central government.
Well, we
Yeah,
have.
we'll do that.
We have been doing that, haven't we?
We'll try again.
Contacted the Future High Street Fund. We've also contacted the Minister of Communities, and we've heard back, haven't we, Chris, from them today. And basically, the Department of Communities and Housing,
MHCLG.
yes, have basically said we're handing it back to Amber Valley, and that was it. So obviously, you've got Labour handing it back to Labour. So again, another. Wanted Chris, I mean, we can read it out, but it'll be, we'll share it.
I'll show a copy to this, sorry, I don't know the lady's name.
Yeah.
I'll show you a copy in a minute, after the meeting.
Yeah, so we have heard back from them. But we haven't
You
heard
haven't
back.
actually got what you want.
No.
You're just getting a fob off.
We're getting
Well,
problem. That's all we've ever done for 40 years.
Because they know that.
It's difficult to get hold of the information.
Yeah.
But we know from being involved, a lot of us that have been involved in this project for about 10 years know that the grant was submitted for this shared use concept. That was the whole premise behind it. So we know that was behind.
Conservative that originally put it in, by the way.
Yeah.
Like 2008.
They wouldn't have got the money to purchase and regenerate the college to turn it into a council offices, because it wouldn't have met the future high streets and levelling up funding requirements.
Enterprise grant or anything.
There is a mechanism called pre-action disclosure. You should make an application for that. Again, I'm not a solicitor, but there is that mechanism, and whether or not it's something that could be explored.
Yeah.
And then if they don't want it willingly,
Yeah.
the court will make them give it to you.
Well, that's the position we're at. So Trevor can't get anything, and he's a borough councillor. So we're at that position now.
I think that's the microphone.
Is battery going, Andy? One job, Andy. One job. Chris, what was you saying then?
Just say I'll come and introduce myself in a bit.
Yeah.
Not time after the meeting yet. All it is, so we got a letter this morning, actually, coincidentally, from the high streets, and they, again, passing it back to Labour, which is quite right. The other thing, as Lindsay Farnsworth, and unfortunately she's not here to answer, I have sent 2 emails so far to our Member of Parliament, Lindsay Farnsworth. Now, she's representing us in Parliament.
Yeah.
Now, surely that application will be somewhere in the archives of Parliament, won't it? Somewhere. I do not know where that is. I am determined to find where that is. I have asked Lindsay Farnsworth twice, and she has not replied to this request. For I would like to see the original document. We had at the last meeting, there was a colleague said he'd seen, I don't know if it was one of yourselves over there, had seen it in Heanor Library. So surely there should be an archive of that document somewhere, and it should be in a public library, technically. I don't think it is, but it should be. It should be publicly accessible for everyone. I have put in several requests for this document. I have not received a single reply. Funny that.
Well,
Have you tried emailing Matt Allward?
What do you know?
Have you tried emailing a guy called Matt Allward?
No.
Right? I can get his email address. It's right hand man.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he's also been spying on the campaign
Right.
site. He's already had a bollocking. But feel free to contact him.
I think we need to see this document, and none of us have seen this document.
No.
What's the document you're actually, sorry, what's the
Well,
document you're actually looking for?
The original application.
The original application, right, so
That's all we need,
it's,
because we need to know.
I'm sure as a council, the Heanor Town Council, I'm sure we could probably apply to look at that.
Brilliant, good, because as I say, I agree with this lady, until we've seen this document, I don't think we can.
Well, we could, Tony, but am I right in thinking that on the agenda for tomorrow's night's meeting, the grammar isn't even on the agenda?
No, unfortunately it's not, because I didn't know you were looking for that particular document. If we knew that you were looking for that.
Well, again, I'd argue, Tony, I mean, really, 40, the biggest thing to happen in our town for 40 years, and it's not even on the agenda.
Well,
It should be on every agenda moving forward, and it should have been on every agenda for the last couple of years.
Sorry, I haven't seen it.
Well, okay, so can we perhaps
True
just,
story.
can we just move on a bit, because just a few things, because I'm conscious of time, and we did say we're going to do the Q&A. I mean, at the last town council meeting, our new independent controlled town council voted to take control of the grammar from Amber Valley Borough Council. And we were looking forward to an update on this at the monthly town council meeting that is tomorrow, 7 o'clock at the town hall in Heanor. So the town council voted to take ownership of the building of Amber Valley Borough Council so it could be returned back to the community, so the community could be involved in managing it. Whilst it's not on the agenda, hopefully it will be covered in the mayor's announcements. So hopefully we'll get a bit of an
I think
update.
there's a document there in front of you.
Yeah.
That's the original email that was sent to Amber Valley
Right.
from.
So Tony just gave us this early, so obviously we're not had a proper read this, but
Okay.
we'll read it out.
You've got the original email that was sent, and it wasn't
Right.
just the grammar that we were looking to take over, it was stepping stones and all that lot, all community assets we were looking to take over, and we got a very, very short paragraph.
I didn't say you haven't had a
So-
response to that though, haven't you?
Right, okay,
What
so-
was the response from Amber
Shall
Valley?
I read it out?
Basically, yeah.
So the town council wants to take ownership of this. On the 1st of October, there's an email, a letter here from Simon Gladwin, Chief Executive, saying the Borough Council will not enter into negotiations with Heanor and Oscar Town Council on the transfer of any assets listed within your email, and one of those was the grammar. Now what's happened is, last week, I don't know if anybody was watching, is it called Good Morning Britain? Or
For
Good
God's
Morning
sake, I
TV?
mean that's just rude. I mean that was my career for 21 years, you don't even know what it's called.
Good morning breakfast TV. It's on ITV.
Jesus Christ, Christ.
Now Angela
It was
Rayner,
on the telly, it was on the
Angela
telly.
Rayner, who was the Secretary of State for Housing, Communities and Local Government, stepped down, and she was replaced by somebody called Steve Reed. Now Steve Reed is obviously an MP, but the government made an announcement last week to the effect of, and he's obviously a senior politician in Westminster, he was saying things like, he was talking about buildings like the Grammar, effectively, and saying the government was introducing something called community right to buy. So he was talking about, effectively, he could have been talking about this campaign.
Yeah.
The one thing we think the government's got to introduce is it's got to complement community right to buy, which is what effectively the town council were talking about, by community right to manage and community right to respect, because the community are not getting a decent amount of respect from elected representatives in many instances, present company accepted. But if that community right to buy, if the asset was transferred to Heanor and Oscar Town Council, the grammar school proposals could really fly. So there was something I was going to say at the end of the meeting, but I think it would be brilliant for us to invite Steve Reed, who's the Secretary of State covering these sorts of projects, to our 5th of November meeting. So we had a vote at the last meeting about inviting our MP to this meeting, and I've got a statement for our MP in a moment. Do we all agree we should invite Steve Reed MP to our meeting on the 5th of November? If you're in favour, would you like to raise your hand?
Right, Facebook Live in.
So,
We're raising hands,
that,
unanimous, I think.
not unanimous, but it's definitely carried. So we'll write to Steve Reed MP tomorrow, and we'll also write to Lindsay Farnsworth.
Yeah.
So we've got a statement from Lindsay Farnsworth. So it's quite a large statement, but she said, "Thank you for inviting me to the meeting.
I'll have a good
Unfortunately, it will not be possible on this occasion, as I will be out of the country on parliamentary business. Please accept my apologies." And she's attached a statement. Now that statement's an A4 letter. It's on the Team Heanor Facebook page now. We posted it at 7 o'clock. So it's there if you want to read the MP's statement. But hopefully, 5th of November, we will invite Steve Reed here and our MP to tell us why we can't do the things we're talking about when the government is saying this campaign is the sort of thing the Labour government wants to see happen across the country.
Maria.
Two things. Could we also send a letter to the shadow secretary of schools, since that's going to different last week entirely?
Yes.
And can we also perhaps email Good Morning Britain and ask them if they were prepared to talk to some
Well, we have
with town councillors on the piece that they did last week.
Yeah, well, when obviously it broke about what the government was doing, I obviously offered the grammar as the perfect case study, so they do know about it and pushing it, as you can imagine. But yes, I'll push it again.
Thank you.
But yeah, things are happening in the press. It's just getting the timing right on it. They're getting their ducks in a row. Obviously, we've got to get our ducks in a row. But in the meantime, they're very interested. Have you heard anything, Dawn, yet?
I have heard lots of things.
Oh, no one knows everything.
I know about the rain coming on Friday.
Have you heard Beam?
Not yet.
No.
No phone call.
No. They're quite interested in Dawn's story, the fact that there's no access for, like Steph was saying, disabled people to open businesses in the whole of Heanor apart from that. So that's just up their street.
I did have a... Oh,
Just
sorry.
ask a question.
Yeah.
What is the ultimate aim of this group? Is it to keep the grammar school for the local community, or is it to fight for the rest of the country? Because I think you've got different goals going on here, and they're getting somewhat muddled, and I think you need to decide what your primary aim is.
Sorry, why do you think we want to fight for the rest of the country?
Because you want to lobby the government. And
We're lobbying Parliament for regulation because we've not got none.
But that's fighting for the country. That's not fighting for the grammar school.
Because unfortunately, what's happening here is happening in most towns.
But that's
Yeah, but
the point I'm making.
Yeah.
What is most important? Is it to protect the grammar?
Yes,
If you want to
100%. But what I'm saying is if the crowdfunding money does not get used, then it will go towards that.
But you've got to decide what your primary goal is. And if your
Our primary goal is the grammar.
The primary goal is, as we've set out on our on the Ground Fund website, it's got 5 objectives on
It's
there.
all on there.
And it's basically to stop the current proposals to lease the building to Derbyshire County Council and say, hang on a minute, the money was awarded by the government to regenerate that grammar school into a shared community, leisure and business hub. That was it. That is still, there's still a banner outside the college saying, coming soon, the grammar. It doesn't say coming soon, Derbyshire County Council.
No,
so that is our goal.
And that was my understanding, but it seems to be meandering off to be more of a national thing, which is not. So then you get
only
blurred lines, and I think if you want to protect the grammar, you've got to focus on getting the evidence
Quite right, Steve.
Yeah,
regarding the
okay.
application.
I think that's a fair comment, so thank you.
Because no lawyer is going to be able to do anything for you without your evidence.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, we have been trying, we've been working very hard. There's only 4 or 5 of us that in the core. We just, and all we've ever had for 4 or 5 years when we've been working on similar things to the grammar, but not as big, is we've just had dead end after dead end after dead end. We can't get anywhere. We're banging our head against a brick wall.
I think one of the things at the moment is we're fighting this. However, we're also noticing that the next village are fighting the same. The next town are fighting it.
Well, that could be a splinter group.
And that's it. So if we can get it right here, then we can show other people.
Yeah.
With my disabilities, and I've got, there's multiple, I'm not the only person in the wheel who's disabled in the village. Let's have Little Britain. I'm not the only disabled person here. However, having the grammar school accessible, and the bit of the grammar school that the community are being given, which is on Lindsay Farnworth's thing, is the baby grammar. Now, if you've ever worked in a building and the rest of your colleagues are upstairs, but there's no lift, they're having a party up there, they're singing happy birthday and eating cake. I'm the only person on the ground floor hearing all that, listening to it, seeing the crumbs of the cake on the shirts when they come back down, but I'm left downstairs. And on Lindsay Farnsworth's thing that she's just put out, it says the community have got the baby grammar. Okay? So I am still a wheelchair user that can't get up to that party. Now, if you've ever seen a child sitting there who's gluten-free, sitting at a birthday party, everyone else is eating pizza, what have they got? That's not inclusion. I'm still excluded. Now, we've got everybody in our town. We have all races and everybody, and everyone is included. And they can all get up to that party. You know what, I'm already got enough, but I'd like a piece of that birthday
There
cake.
is a lift in the new building.
There is a lift in the main building.
Yeah.
However, in the baby grammar that Lindsay Farnsworth has said the community will have access to, so you've got the main building,
Yeah.
and at the back of that there is a small building next to the fire station,
Oh, that one.
which is called the baby grammar.
Okay.
That's the building that the community are going to get to use as a main facility
Right.
for independent businesses. There is no lift, and as far as I'm aware, there might not even be a disabled accessible toilet, which we should have.
Tell them about when you went to look round.
When I went to look around in the main building, there is no evac chair. So they haven't sorted out full disabled access in the main building. At the moment, they spoke about car parking a second ago. Car parking is amazing. Yeah, loads and loads of car parking spaces. At the moment, the public can use those car parking spaces. If you've got a blue badge and any disability where you can use your blue badge, there is no disabled spaces at the moment because there's a great big gate that is locked. I mean, I don't drive, I use bus. But those parking spaces are right next to the blood bank. So if you're going to give blood, perfect spaces, they're locked. So there is no new access. And yeah, I want to open a business and I want to run it from there because it's close to town. I want to go to that party as well. The baby grammar is not going to work for the business that I want to run. And like I said later, I can go into that. There's like a dance school. I want to watch my children and my niece and nephew. I want to watch them at that dance school, and I want to go up and watch them. Not sit downstairs and wait till they're finished and all the other parents are celebrating and clapping. I want the same opportunities as everyone else. And if me fighting in Heanor, because I know you're saying about a national campaign, it's not about a national campaign, but if we can show people in other parts of the country that this community really want access, we want what we're given, then that's what we should receive.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, so success breeds success.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But the focus has to be on what's the most important
Yeah.
at the moment.
So the grammar is our main priority.
Yeah.
However, showing other communities that we're doing it here will empower them as well. So yes, our priority needs to be the grammar
Yes.
and the baby grammar
Yeah.
and accessible parking.
Well, it's,
Pardon?
Has anybody actually been in the baby grammar?
No, the baby grammar, when everybody was able to look around, was being used for storage.
So how do we know what's in there now?
Because there is no lift, I've asked, so when I went, I asked them what is in the baby grammar, what is the accessibility, there is no lift. They work, there is no lift, there is not going to be a lift, there is no plan for a lift in the baby grammar. There is just going to be the lift and accessibility in the main building. So there is no lift planned, there has no lift ever been planned in the baby grammar.
Yeah, can we get back to business, Steph? You know that it's got to be kept.
Yeah, I'm just answering the question, I'm keeping it on,
What's this our problem?
sorry, let me just,
Is a plan actually being drawn up for the baby grammar?
the baby grammar is complete.
Is it complete?
It is complete with all of the alterations that are going to be done, so there is no lift. We are waiting for information about disabled facilities and toilets and things like that. There is also no changing places facility in the whole grammar.
and also on the every open dates they've had, the public, all councillors, none of us have seen this like.
Yeah, no, I know, that's why
No
I
one's
asked the
seen it.
question.
The only person in the room that has seen inside it is John. Isn't it, John?
Yes.
John's seen inside it. John.
What?
What? So, do you want to tell us what's in the baby grammar?
Upstairs and downstairs, I think. That's about all. That's all I
Upstairs and
saw.
downstairs.
There's a big room upstairs.
Yeah, okay. So it's one big room at the minute, and what about downstairs?
We only went up the stairs. I didn't see anything else downstairs.
Right, so he's just been upstairs. So yeah, John has been here, but we're none the wiser really. And it's not really that big. It's not really going to fit 151.
Okay, right, it's coming up to 8 o'clock, so we need to start summing up. So before we do, I think we've had some really valid comments.
Hold on, we're not
Sorry,
done yet.
can we, sorry,
We're not done yet.
we can't hear. Sorry, just two, we'll be finishing in a couple of minutes. So the solution seems to be for Amber Valley Borough Council, ideally, to hand the asset to the Town Council, because that seems aligned to what the government are saying. Secondly, for the Town Council in partnership with a community interest company to advertise the available spaces to those people that the grant was intended to provide spaces for. Thirdly, give people like Dawn the chance to bring the brilliant grammar school project to life. Because the world is very different if you're in a wheelchair. It's completely different. And finally, Dawn used the analogy of a cake. If Derbyshire County Council is part of the cake, then that's great. But at the moment, Amber Valley are looking to give Derbyshire County Council effectively the cake and leave the community with the crumbs. And that's not aligned with the original bid. So, to just draw this to a close, are there any further questions from the floor? Anybody want to answer?
Yeah.
Lady in the back, just bring over a mic to you. No guarantees we can answer them.
No one's even noticed I have my teeth done. Have you?
Have you thought about producing your own business plan? Get in touch with these 101 people, working out how much the rooms will cost and everything, and presenting that to the council, because then it gives you more strength with you with what you're trying to do, because you can say this will work. Because as you know, it's got to pay for itself.
I think that's a brilliant idea. And if Amber Valley Borough Council are watching, we would love to do that, but because the 151 businesses gave their business details to Amber Valley Borough Council, we're not allowed to know anything other than there were 151 businesses that expressed interest. So hopefully, maybe via this video, they might get in touch with us.
But on Facebook, you can ask, you can sort of like ask and say,
That's a good, yeah.
and do it that way. There's also a twin to Heanor Grammar School, which is Long Eaton Grammar School, which was bought by a business, and it's Mohan Business something with that.
Yeah, I went to school at Long Eaton Grammar. Now, Long Eaton Grammar is a perfect version of how this should work. Now, the bottom line is, it's a commercial business, it's it's working, it is full, and someone, I haven't got the time to be honest, someone ought to make some inquiries because it's less than 10 miles away. This is a working model, it's a listed building, identical to here, and it's an example of how it should work.
Well, that's brilliant, yeah. We've not heard about that, so thank you. We'll make some inquiries.
I think the key thing was there, we need a volunteer. Right, anybody else got any questions? Dale, sorry, Dale had his question.
Just wait for the mic, one sec, Dale, for the people at home.
Well, I think most of my questions too has been asked by others, so glad to know it wasn't just me that was kind of feeling this way around what the plan was for the movement and how he was going to kind of enact that. I will draw one of the points out of that question though, which is, as I mentioned at the previous meeting here, now that the restoration works are complete, now that the restoration works are complete, and there are no units included in that, how would you propose to rectify this? So, if it was to say go to Heanor and Gloucester Town Council and then a CIC, whether it be you or anyone that came up with Town Council meeting, we all know how I felt about that. I think it should stay in the control of the people that voted for the elected members, so I think it should be only community help. But how would we go about getting that rectified? How would you put businesses in?
How would we get it rectified, as in what way? Sorry, no.
We're on about putting 150 businesses in.
Right, well, okay, yes, I get your point. So you're not going to get 151 businesses in there, but what we're saying is over a year ago, Amber Valley Borough Council had a public consultation exercise and said, if you're a local business, or you're a business wanting to move into the town, we want to hear from you. Please come along to Charles Hill Centre and we will show you the spaces available. 151 businesses took the time and effort, mine included, Dawn's included, to go along. Now you're not going to get 151 businesses in there, but none of them were contacted subsequently from what we know. So the idea is that you advertise the spaces that are available with a mark. Can I finish answering the question?
Yeah, you're not answering the question, Steph. Well, the question was, how will you rectify it?
I don't understand your question then.
Is everyone going to share one space?
No, it's a shared space concept.
Then how would you make those spaces?
Because it's a building with different rooms and spaces.
Yeah, the money's gone, it's done.
Well, I don't. Right. Any other questions? Because I'm sort of a bit confused, and we're getting to 10 past 8.
Well, thank you. Well, let me just my last question then.
Right. So there's other people who do want to ask questions, and you've had a pair.
Well, I did say 3, and you did allow it. I mean,
Okay.
You're not taking questions.
No, I'm not that. No, don't make this personal.
So if anybody wants to leave, it has gone 8 o'clock. So if everyone's happy to stop, we're happy to stop.
So my next question was, and it's more of a statement than this question, is I'd like to raise the concerns that have been mentioned by some of the members of this community, this movement, this group.
This building's been converted in a certain way, and if we're going to get businesses in, we're going to have to reconvert it. But is that what you meant? Yes. So, yeah, I understand that, but I'd say it's not really our problem, is it? I mean, they spent that money, they're going to have to put it back, aren't they?
Hang on, no, hold on, we're missing the point here. Right, seriously, we're missing the point here.
Right,
so it's a list.
We're all on the same side.
It's a listed building, and it's got planning permission to be converted into what it's being converted into. If you go into the building, it's got segmented spaces. I was one of the businesses that went along with Dawn to view the spaces. There are small ones, there are big ones, there are even bigger ones. And you were asked to put your name down on the size of space you wanted. And then you're going to be told what the rent was. Those spaces still exist. Now, if you wanted to be a car mechanic, it wasn't the right building for you. I'm not a car mechanic. But one of the tower rooms was suitable for my business. Dawn found one of the rooms downstairs suitable for her business. So that still exists. This is not about changing the walls. The walls were fixed as part of the listed building consent. So you need to go back to the planning application and that will give you your answers, David.
And we've got access to that.
Yes, it's on the portal. You've got, your dad used to be on planning committee. It's all there.
Are you happy? Right, so Eddie, go on, and then I'll answer the social media shizzle. So I think it's only right that I answer that.
I think the point that this lady made here that regarding the business plan is very valid. At the end of the day, if you want this to be successful, you've got to come forward with a plan. Paul, come over there and crack a few jokes, shall we? If you want this to be successful, you're going to have to come up with a business plan that is viable and workable. Otherwise, it's just going to get laughed out of court. Now, at the moment, we're talking about what rents we're going to charge. How do we know what rents are going to be charged when we don't know what expenditure is going to be faced? So the business plan needs to start at the other end and work out known costs so that we can then start to get a basis together for what the rental would need to be.
We've got some plans for the long design which will give you sort of like an idea.
Yeah, but then you're looking at utility costs and things like that, so you need to, so there's a lot of work to do with that before you even start to talk to people about rents. Otherwise, it might look very good on paper, but if you're not covering your costs, it's not going to work, is it?
Well, we have heard that a year before completion, 80% of costs were covered a year before completion.
By who? Covered by who? By who?
It was covered by the amount of businesses that wanted to go in there. Did you have anything more, Eddie?
No, again, I would echo what the lady said here, which is you've got 151 businesses.
Yeah.
You may have more. Now you may have, but it'll have changed. But get out and need to start advertising it pronto and getting expressions of interest again.
How do we do that?
It's not social media.
Yeah, but we don't all that will laugh at us because we have it. It's pie in the sky in a minute. What are we offering people?
The chap in the back had the question. And then
yeah, you know what I mean, though, Eddie. Like they'll just laugh us out because we don't own the building.
Right, the chap in the
there's no lease sign.
purple t-shirt in the back, and then I think we've got final questions from Trevor.
Chris.
Yeah, all right, Chris. Okay, Trevor had a question.
Trevor.
Yes, in all the paperwork that we've I definitely don't need to please. In all the paperwork that we've all received up to now, it states categorically that the space that will be allocated for public use will be the main hall and one meeting room. That's what it states. So you know what you're going to get.
Well, this is what we're challenging. Okay. So, on that note, if there are no other further questions...
No, there was further questions, and also...
Where are the further questions?
Right, well, Dale had one last question, Dale said a social media question, but on what Eddie was saying, and what you two say, perfect, great, but, again, I will appeal for more help, because we are absolutely slammed. Me and Stefan run our own businesses 6 days a week, and the amount that we have achieved is... We've done alright, I think. However, we're absolutely slammed and we are getting some help, and that is all wonderful. But, like I've said about 10 times during this meeting, we ain't doing this for our pleasure. It ain't fun. We're doing it because it needs to be done, because it's wrong what they've done to us, and everybody's just going along and saying that everything is alright. It is not alright, and unless people start helping us, we will get nowhere. And if we want to address the social media, what was the question about that? How can we unite when we're all separate? Is that the kind of question?
Well, that's a question for our politicians, I think, more than us.
No, I meant the social media from the campaign.
Right.
Quite divisive. It's, calling a lot of people out.
Because you get no answers, that brings division.
Right, Dale, that's one opinion, and I'm happy to listen to it. However, what you are seeing, a lot of that is not coming from TV in Alaska. It's not. If you have a look at all social media on Spotted, a lot of this is not coming from us, right? If we have got truth to say, I will say it. I'm not afraid to say it. In fact, if more people spoke the truth in this town, like I've said, we would not be where we are today. And that is the truth. So I will not stop speaking the truth. However, other people are saying other things on social media that is nothing to do with us. So I'd be quite appreciated if we actually draw a line in what's actually coming from me and coming from Team Heanor Oscar and actually is coming from other sources. We have not done a quarter of the social media. We've probably been the biggest voice. However, other people in this room have done plenty of social media as well. And that's what I would say to that. Do you want me to tell you, Mal?
No.
No, I don't think you do.
Let's finish on a positive. So we're going to draw this meeting to a close. So sorry we're 15 minutes over schedule, but can we say huge thank you to all of you coming this evening, but also a huge thank you to the club for hosting us again this evening, and I think the bar's still open for drinks. So thank you.